Good Tuesday to you guys. This is my third and final part of the process to making my like fantasy tree wood round. I have already taken and laid a few things out. I was trying to decide between this blue here and this for my light process. So I probably shouldn't have picked that up, but I did. Dang me. Anyways, I'll set it back down in there. I'm going to lay out everything else that I want inside my picture. I did a little frog, and I have a little teeny butterfly and a star up here. And I wanted to tell you that I'm almost out of, but let's see if I can put it this way. I am using KS resin today on this particular piece. I'm almost out of it, so have to reorder. Yay. But I like to embellish with different things, glitters, beads, stones. I have a lot of sea glass that I have come across, and I used a little bit of this moss type stuff to make it look like there was moss hanging down from the tree, with some broken gold chains, and I have silver chains on here already. And I did choose a rock to put my signature on, so it's gonna sit right there. And I laid out a little bit more glitter with the glue on it before I did the Kmart, and drew a few more lines on this piece. So I'm just going to start laying it out so it's not a terribly long video. I like the sea glass, and I just like the dimension that it gives in a piece of art. Set that down. I just moved a piece of chain that I had. And that's okay. We'll fix that. So you just lay out whatever pieces that you think will enhance. You don't ever want to put too much things on. You don't want to make it look cluttered, but you want to make it look classy, I think is the term that I'm looking for. So I do in my head what I think I want, and then you start laying it out, and eventually it starts coming together for you. I have a few clear marbles that I want to lay within my sea glass here, because I just want the rounded edge of them in my piece. So I don't glue any of this down. I have a couple of kind of pink colors that I will also lay in there. They will all end up being cohesive when the resin is laid out. So I just wanted those, I don't know, kind of popping up out of. I found, I wanted to show you that I have this container somewhere of all kinds of beads and such that people give me along the way, and I try to incorporate all of these things in my pieces of art. So that's my stash, and all of these pieces came from that container. And I just want to just add just a little here and there. You want to sit there, huh? So, and it's just greens because I like the greens in the edge, so I picked out things that were in that color scheme to lay out. You don't have to do this. You have to, what you need to do is make it your own. Don't try to do mine verbatim or exact. This is to inspire what your thought process and the things that you can make happen with your art, intentionally doing it the way you would see fit to do it. I like to be different than other people. I like challenging myself to, this is just glitter, sorry, I'm just talking. Challenging myself to do just different things. So I'm just going to add a little bit more glitter in these areas. It will float a little bit because I am not gluing it down. But that's okay. I like to see where it moves in the resin. So just a little bit here and yonder. Put a little bit of glitter within the sea glass so it will shimmer when the resin goes on. And then I want to put a few blue beads up in the glitter that I have within the edge of up there. Just a few blues because they will glisten in the resin. And sometimes they'll move around, but that's kind of cool to me. So I have a few beads around in yonder, and I have these green shards of, oops, I just spilt my glitter. These green shards of glass that I will also add in the tree area. Just sporadically. Just gonna add a little bit of depth. And texture, lots of texture. So people can, when they touch it, they can feel all of the different textures and stuff in it. That's the thing about resin, is people want to touch because it is so dimensional, and it adds so much to a piece of artwork that people they want to touch it. Which is okay. It's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Just add as much or as little as you want. And then we will start pouring the resin. As soon as I've already mixed it together, I just haven't stirred much, so I will have to stir that going through. Just do as little or as much as you want to do. I like much. When I was doing my last one, I said, oh, I'm going to add stones and all kinds of things to my piece. And everybody was like, oh, no, don't do anything else to it. You'll make it look, whoops, wrong lid. There it is. It'll look too cluttered or what. You do have to be careful about the things that you are going to add, because you can add too many things. You can add too many colors. You can add too much depth. But in this case, most of the things that I have laid down are in a clear value. That there. And so when the resin goes on, it will all meld together. I like that piece. You just have to keep moving things around and seeing what you think will be okay for you. I've done it a few times, so I just like to keep going sometimes. Let's see if I can put that right there below the frog. And we'll stir this up really quick. It is really important that you scrape your sides of your cup when you're stirring your resin. It is important to bring bottom to top, flipping the resin over so it gets very, very good and mixed up. Like if you have a cup like I have, it's got a little lip in the bottom of it here, so it is really important to spin around the very edge of the bottom, and you stir until you have no strings, like stringiness in the resin. So you just keep stirring it. KS Resin says to stir for 3 or more minutes. I like KS Resin. It takes a long time to cure, and you have quite a bit of working time with it. So probably 30-35 minutes to play with it before it starts setting up and getting a gel effect to it. It is a very thick resin, and that's okay. I like KS resin. I also like FX epoxy resin, and I like what is the other one I use? RGT casting resin. I like a lot too. So those are my 3 main types of resins that I use. Just going to keep stirring this just a little bit longer. I know that there's about 16 ounces here, and I know it won't cover my whole thing, but I like to nail everything down, and then in about an hour I will mix up more and do the final coat. Once it starts getting tacky, I'll be able to pour the remainder on. But this is like magic to me. Resin is like magic. And I like it a lot. It is 68 degrees here today on this fine February day, which 2 years ago, I think it was in 18 that we had this week an ice storm. So weather's kind of wacky a little bit. I've got a kitty cat over here playing in my corner. Get out of there. Out, 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 out. Yeah, thank you. Playing with my chains and everything. But I have a fan behind me. I have a fan on the floor under my table. And I have a fan out in right in my doorway, pushing everything out the window. So if you choose to use a respirator, that's okay. It's important. I have a respirator, and when I do a lot of flaming, torching, or anything like that, I always have my respirator on. When doing a video, it's like hard to talk, and I am not a computer wizard and don't edit very well at all. So what you get on this video is exactly what's happening. So I'm just going to start laying this out. I want to make sure the tops of my sea glass and my stones are covered. First, to make sure the rough edges or whatever are covered with the resin. So everything that's sticking way up is the first thing that I cover. And once all of this is resin down, I start filling in the other areas. I don't know if you can see, but see, I put the resin on top of this sea glass, which was kind of milky looking. And once you put the resin on it, it goes clear for you, and it just leaves texture. It's not overwhelming or taking away from the actual painting, because when it cures, everything that was underneath the sea glass is going to shine through. So you'll still see all of the alcohol ink dimensions and all of that good stuff. So I just mostly go around the edge, getting everything that absolutely has to be glued down. I will torch it. And get the bubbles out, because like when you like string like this, you are introducing air into every aspect of the resin, so it will have to be torched. Then I will let it set for a little while, and I will come in and mix up another probably 18 to 20 ounces to do the top coat of resin. But this is my process. I hope you enjoyed the 3 parts of making this piece, and I hope if you try it that somehow I will be able to see it. I hope it was inspiring and interesting. So anyways, I'm just going to finish this, and then I will torch it out, and I'm going to say that I hope you enjoy your day. Inspire somebody today. Love on somebody today. Make somebody smile. So I'm just going to let that go, and I'm going to show you the torch process of it. I'm going to turn that up just a little bit. it is pretty good and covered. There's still a little spaces that I will need more resin on, but I'm going to bring my camera down and hopefully let you see how it is turning out a little closer. I really like it a lot. Okay, I'm going to show you that, and hopefully I won't tousle you too much. I'm going to flip you a little bit. But just want to bring it down, and I'm going to move my lamp over so it's not teetotally in it. But so you see all of the sea glass turned really clear, and it just has depth in it all the way across. And I think it looks okay. So I hope, really do hope, that this inspired you to be creative in some way, shape, or form. And I am just going to say have a great day and peace out to you.